Hi, this is Carrie Hummingbird, and this is Soul Nectar, that show that attempts to describe the undescribable, the unknowable, that which is bigger than us, the great spirit, essence, source, the universe, whatever it is that you feel that is for you. And we do it through storytelling because I found that's the easiest way for us to talk about it. So today, I'm delighted to have Eva Gregory here with us today. Thank you for being here.
My honor.
Eva is a master coach, law attraction expert, intuitive, and mentor to spiritual entrepreneurs. She's simply the best when it comes to helping coaches, healers, holistic practitioners, and other spiritual entrepreneurs learn how to tap into their inner guidance and blend it with the proven practical strategies for creating a successful business. She shared the virtual stage with some of the most respected thought leaders, including John Assaraf, Neil Donald Walsh, and Dr. Michael Beckwith, among others. She is the author of the Feel Good Guide to Prosperity and Life Lessons for Mastering the Law of Attraction. So those are two books, the Feel Good Guide to Prosperity and Life Lessons for Mastering the Law of Attraction, which she co-authored with Jack Canfield. She won the Law of Attraction Leaders Award for the best. I didn't even know that was possible. For the best, there's an award. I'm going to win that now. The best Law of Attraction coach in 2013 and 14. I didn't even know that was possible. Like, there's a whole new level of me to achieve. I love this. She was a 2013 California Excellence Award recipient and was named one of the top 100 women in e-commerce in 2012 and named International Coach of the Year in 2006. So that is so amazing. Wow. What an amazing list there. You've inspired me. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I keep all the medals of all of the half marathons and marathons that I've run, you know, like,
oh yeah.
So this is like a whole new way. It's like not marathons now, it's like law of attraction. So Eva, tell us your story of connection, that remembrance of that,
you know, it's interesting because we talk about it being a remembrance, but really I'll tell you, it started when I discovered law of attraction. That's really where it started. And it was years ago, my mate Robin and I, it was actually his software company. And I was working in the company with him, and we were struggling to the point where we were laying off people left and right. We couldn't make payroll for those that were left. And we'd struggled like 5 years. And we were looking for backing, venture capital, anything we could do to keep the doors open. And that was about the time that I discovered the law of attraction. And it was a time when morale was so low in the business. We weren't paying ourselves, so we could, the skeleton crew that was left, we could pay them. Things were ugly. We had creditors after us personally. We had creditors after us in the business. The tension was high. And I'll tell you, at the time, if our landlord had said, because we couldn't pay our rent, said, get out, we would have had to left all of our furniture and everything and just walk out because we just didn't have it. Time that I had come across this universal law called law of attraction. Now, and I had been studying metaphysics since my 20s, but I never really got all the stuff that I was studying until I stumbled on the Abraham Hicks website, by the way, for those that don't know it, Abraham-Hicks.com, run, do not walk. It changed my life. It changed my life. And that was when everything became crystal clear to me. And it felt like the light bulbs came on, the fireworks went off, and I got it. And then I looked at what we were doing in the company, and I realized, my God, look at where our focus has been all this time. It's been on what I don't want in my life. What if we can't pay the bills? What if we have to lay off more people? What if we get evicted? You know, what if we can't meet payroll? And of course, what did that do? That was just creating more of the same. And I was taking that energy into the company. And so it was this ripple effect that was going on with the rest of them in the company. And for me, when I really understood law of attraction, it's like law of attraction. I always assume everybody knows what law of attraction is. But in case there's one person out there.
Just in case.
To me, law of attraction is where you put your energy, emotions, and focus on. You will get more of it in your life, whether you want it or not. Okay. So the law of attraction is always working. And when people say it's not working for me, I'm saying, oh, honey, it's working. It's just you're focused on something you don't want. But it's like your thoughts are the engine, your emotions are the fuel that is creating the situations in your life and creating more of those types of situations in your life. And so that's what I had been doing this whole time with the company. So you know how you wake up at 3 a.m. and everything looks worse at 3 a.m. a lot of times. I had gone through a lot of that with this, but there was this one morning when I woke up and I got this message that said, Eva, you understand the law of attraction and you're not walking your talk. And the message was to stop all the dog and pony shows, stop going after venture capital and all that. But you take this understanding of law of attraction into the company and you teach them the understanding of that. And then you focus on shifting your energy in the company, starting with you. That's the message I got that night. That was the first. And so, of course, I did. To be honest, I felt like we'd done everything else, that we had nothing to lose. You know, I felt like we were at rock bottom at that point. I thought, I don't care what anybody thinks. I am going to do this. And there were a few people that thought I was off my rocker, but most of them absolutely signed on to the understanding of this so that we could start to shift our energy. And what we did is I took the prosperity account. It's called the prosperity account. And it was based on Abraham Hicks' prosperity game, for those of you who are aware of it. And if you're not, I'll tell you what it is, because this was a turning point for me. As we took this prosperity account, we put this huge spreadsheet up. And we started with $10,000. And everybody in the company would say, what would you spend your $10,000 on today in the company? And everybody would post on this account. The next day it was $11,000. The day after that it was $12,000, and then it was $1,000 more every day. And what started to happen was the energy did start to settle out in the company. I mean, we were nipping at each other. It was not pretty. And that all started to go away, and people started to looking forward to playing this game in the company. And in that, what we learned, of course, is that even though it was an imaginary game, it was shifting our energy as if it were real. And this is the thing that, you know, the universe doesn't know if something's real or not, only how you feel and where you're focused, which is great news, because it means we don't have to depend on anyone or anything outside ourselves to shift. Now, sometimes it's hard, granted, to do that, depending on where you are, but that's all it takes. And so that was what I was learning, and that there was always more the next day than the day before. That was what we had been taught. And the whole point of this game was to get our focus on something that felt better than where it had been for such a long time. And it literally shifted the energy, that emotional charge that we've been carrying around, and changed everything. And within 9 months of us stopping the dog and pony shows and trying to get the venture capital and the business partners, we had somebody we'd never even heard of came to us and said, we heard about your software program. We want to buy you out lock, stock, and barrel. And we went from most of the time not even collecting a paycheck for ourselves, Robin and I, to selling that company for a hefty sum of money. And the day it legally changed hands, we were in the Grenadine Islands on a 42-foot catamaran, island hopping with friends.
Nice.
That is the power of inner guidance, the guidance I got that night, and law of attraction. And it was one of the most, at that time, it was the most transformational turning point in my life, and totally showed me how this stuff can really work. And that's when I decided I have to get out of high tech and into high people. That's what I kept saying. And I discovered this profession called coaching. And of course, what did I do? It was all focused on people. You got to understand the law of attraction. It levels the playing field for anyone, anywhere, no matter what your situation is right now, no matter what your education is, your background, your religion, none of it matters when you start to understand this. And that's where I started in my coaching industry, in my coaching, right? And then over time, I started getting that download. Like, I started meditating, and I started really doing that on a daily basis. And I got to the point where at the place I lived at that time, we had a beautiful panoramic view of the San Francisco Bay, which I miss. But what I would do is every night I would get in the quiet. I would get in the living room. I would turn out the lights. I just had my view. And I would just get quiet and ask for that guidance and ask for inner guidance to come in, my guides. And they did. And it was like, I loved it. I lived for my nights, you know, to be there. And it was like just sitting on the couch with the person who loves and adores you more than anything you can ever imagine and having this wonderful conversation with them. I did this for 18 years, just every possible night that I could. And over time, as I was working with them and they were working with me, I guess it's probably more accurate, I began to get this awareness that I could actually bring them in, like they could come through me verbally. And they told me what to do to be able to do that. And I did. And if any of you are interested, because one of the things I do is I teach people how to access your guidance. You know, really, when I think about law of attraction teaches you to trust that emotional guidance. Do you know that is your guidance at the most fundamental level? Most people aren't aware of that. And that's why when I started working with it, and then it began to open up. And so I was told that they could come through me verbally and just to get in a quiet place for 10 or 15 minutes. Folks, try this. And you never know what can work for you too. And get some kind of recorder, right? Now, this is the part that doesn't sound intuitive. They said, record this, but start asking yourself questions you know the answers to and answer them as yourself. I thought, well, that's crazy. But what they were saying is, because what happens is people want to bring it in and there's this pressure on you, right? And you're hoping you can do it and you wanted to try to do it. And this kind of relieves all of that. And so that's what I did. And I would start asking myself questions. I would say, like, so what's your name? I mean, stupid questions. Mm-hmm. Well, my name is, I was born as Eva Catherine McDaniel, and I grew up as Kathy McDaniel. And then when I went to my first job, I ended up marrying my boss. And when they kept introducing me everywhere, they called me Eva. And I thought, well, it's my first job. I'm 15 years old. I'll never be here again. Let them call me Eva. And then I married my boss and became Eva Gregory. Like, I would just ramble like that, right? And I would have fun with it. But it was all questions I knew the answers to, and then just said what the answers were. So then, like day 5, and 10 to 15 minutes, this isn't something that has to take a long time. One of the things they said, I'll back up for a second, is that on day 5 or 6, we'll come through. And when you go back and you listen to the recording, you'll be able to tell the difference when it was you and when it's us. Now, here's what I did. I went, are you kidding me? I said, I don't want to have to go to a recording to tell. I want to be able to know that it's absolutely you and not me. I want you to hit me between the eyes with it. And by the way, you can do that. You can ask for these kinds of things from your guidance and your higher self. It's not like, okay, what do you want from me? They're going, your wish is my command, really. And so
I've been getting that message lately. I'll tell you that.
So true. It's so true. It's one of the things that I really work with people on. It's like, no, what do you want? And then let them guide you in the highest possible way to what it is that you're asking for. And so anyway, day 5 comes and I start asking law of attraction questions, even though they're questions I knew the answers to. And all of a sudden, I got this amazing feeling, the most exquisite love just poured through me. It just poured through me. It was so, I couldn't even contain it. And I started like tears coming out of my eyes, and it felt like the love was bigger than the room and then bigger than my area, and just like, oh my God. And it's indescribable. And I'll just say that the best way I can describe it is like a full body, full energy, full orgasm that you could ever imagine in the best possible way. I know it sounds crazy, but that is really, it's like, oh my God, I could have just died right then. And don't you laugh at me.
Oh, no, I totally get it. Every time I do a healing, that's exactly how it feels for me, because
yes. Oh my gosh. And
I'm channeling that wisdom, and it feels delicious. It's just like it's coming through, and it's, I get kind of heady when it's coming through.
Yes.
like
Yeah.
almost like high or something.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is. It
like it's
can get
moving.
spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I finally, when it started to subside, and Robin knew that I was doing all of this, and he was in the kitchen cooking. And so I went, oh my God, I've got to tell him it happened. And so I went out there, and about the time I went to tell him, I just, that feeling just came back over me again, and I can't talk. So I'm crying, and I can't say anything. I'm just hugging, going, it's good. It's good. The biggest saucer's like, what is going on right now? But that was where this really came into, to the work that I'm doing today. And at the time it happened, I mean, it was just so exquisite. And at the same time, it felt like, I can't tell anybody this. Like,
yeah, people are going to think you're crazy. So a lot of people live their life from that small self, from what it feels to me like it's always like a kind of shallow place. It's like the shallow waters, and the other space when I'm working in a healing session or really channeling the guides, then it's way deep. It's like the ocean. I mean, it's like the ocean, like you're just being in the middle of the ocean, but it's not a scary place. It's like this beautiful place, like this profound, deep, wide, unknowable, massive, gorgeous space of, and then these beautiful feelings come through. And that's a really interesting topic, is feelings, because from the small self, a lot of us have barricaded our hearts. We have experienced disappointments, and we've sort of put a lot of armor around our hearts. And in order to really manifest what you desire, first of all, you have to know what you desire.
For sure.
We forgot that. We stopped dreaming, And the second thing is you have to be able to feel. And so many people are having a hard time with that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I teach in my Divine Manifesting Mastery class. It's like we have got to get out of our heads and we've got to get into our hearts. And so there's a lot of work. And one of the first things I'll tell everybody is, all right, envision you have this rope ladder that you unfurl, and now I want you to climb down out of your head. And that's where it all happens. And so you have to be willing to feel, for sure. And it's everything that is coming from our heart space. You lead from your heart. You follow up with your mind. And we've been taught backwards. We've been taught that whatever is coming through in the mind is most important. And so that's where we override our intuition. It's like you're feeling something, but the mind says, no, that doesn't make sense. And then you override what intuition, which of course is guidance coming through.
Another really interesting thing that's coming into my awareness now on this part of my journey is for women especially, I'm doing a lot of healings with women in their wombs, like in their second chakra space, which is where the intuition lives in a woman's body.
Yes.
And encouraging people to fully embody their beings, fully have their spirit in their body all the way down to their pelvis, to their womb, to their uterus, and then dropping their attention not just to the heart, but all the way down into the womb, and then asking from that place what you want. Because as I started doing this, I noticed with my teenage sons, I made a request from my yoni, from way down there.
Yes.
And it was like, done. They went and did it. And I was
like, wow, this stuff works.
How this works,
it's
what else can I ask for?
Yeah, it's so true. And I remember there was a point when I didn't realize that, everything it was all heart. And then one of my teachers, counselors, mentors on the spiritual level said, well, you've got to bring it down. It's got to be down in your lower level, because that's the grounding part of it. The heart's okay, but you've got to bring it into earth. You've got to have this be able to manifest out. And that's the combination which you're talking about, right?
Well, I always knew that part about the earth, right? I mean, because we're in the physical matter, and manifestation of anything of spirit happens with the physical matter.
Absolutely.
I know from my healing ceremonies, if I do a healing with someone, if somebody is disembodied, for example, like I'm healing a spirit that's departed and giving them a little boost, say they got trapped or they got lost in a death loop or something, and I'm doing healing with them. They need a body in order to do the healing, and they can only stick around for a short period of time because it's hard for them to stay present. So either a body or my stones or something physical that grounds them.
Right.
And so I knew that part. So my mentors have taught me how to ground, sink your roots deep into the earth and all this stuff. But it was almost like you could imagine, like my roots are grounded in the earth, totally deep and wide. And then I'm manifesting from up here.
Exactly.
Like I was like, wait a second.
Okay.
So I've only just gotten that, like down in the womb is where you make the ask.
Yes. Yes.
So awesome to finally get that.
Yes. Huge difference.
Because, so many women, we're asking permission constantly, and we're asking from like up here, and our throats, our necks are tired of asking.
Right.
It's like so much effort for the throat chakra to like make that ask constantly without support of the full power. I think that's why my throat's hurt a lot over the last 6 years since I started becoming aware. I wonder if women should look at that.
I would say absolutely they should, and to start to paying attention. And I love the work that you do and how you bring this all together so that it's like we're bringing it all in. It's getting out there. It's getting out there more and more, but it has not been. It hasn't been. And to give women, especially, this full permission to stand in their power in this way, in the way that we only can, from this connection from head to heart. It's still a connection, right? Head to heart to womb, and then stand in that power and come from there. Then it's not so much about the asking. It's more about, this is who we be and this is the way it is.
Yeah,
we don't have to ask anymore.
No, it's not permission.
No.
Claiming.
Yes.
Feels right.
Choosing and claiming.
And so it is.
Yes.
As you claim it. And I think that couple things on that. I think for a lot of women it's we've been claiming what we thought we wanted based on our society, and that doesn't make us happy.
Yes. It's there's a process I take people through around, and it can be for any relationship. It can be for getting clients. It can be for your significant other. And in the process, one part of the process is, first of all, what are all those characteristics, skills, qualities, all the typical stuff, that you want to list. But to take it further is, so what is it you want them to love about you? What is it you want them to expect of you? And a lot of people say, just an example is, I want my significant other or my partner to really love and appreciate the beautiful meals I lay out on the table at night. And I said, well, let me tell you what mine is, because sometimes it's because what you're saying, we're so conditioned to be in a certain way. I said, in my relationship, I want to appreciate all the meals that he puts on the table at night. That is for me. And that's what I have. I have a relationship. I don't do any of the cooking. He does all of it. But it's not our place unless you love to do that. Right. And so what is it you do want? That's what I want. I want to be able to appreciate the meals that he creates, because I don't like to cook. And it's worked beautifully.
I when I made my list, my last list I made, I finally said, okay, this is how I want to feel. Yeah. And it was all about how I wanted to feel. I want to feel safe in his arms. I want him to totally honor and respect me. I want him to be so in love with what a wonderful mom I am, and all the work I do in the world and the good that I do. I want him to really see me for who I am, and to really honor me in that way, and to support me in that work. And and I went through a little process with that because I focused on, how do I want to feel and all this. And I made my
right. Yeah.
And then I had to let it go completely because I was holding on to the vision. I wasn't actually letting it go. I was checking, like,
yeah.
have you done it yet?
Yeah. Right.
It's not here yet. Are you doing it?
Right.
And I realized at some point I was being really demanding. Like I got a good mirror reflection with a friend of mine who was going through a similar thing. And I could witness myself through her. And it was so demanding. It was like, I want this, it was like this energy of like, where aren't you here yet? And I want what I want. And it made my ask and you're not here. And like that ucky energy. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, I think I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah. It's kind of like, kids, did you take out the trash yet? Did you take out the trash? Did you take out the trash? Like, oh my God, nag. Rather than this is what I want and I am open to receive. Thank you.
Or, it's already mine and I bless it for existing, and so I went into that space of, okay. I also went into the space of, okay, I know God is going to bring me this when I'm really ready to receive and honor a man like that.
Yes.
Then he will come to my doorstep. And you know what? He did. I did. Some third party person who randomly knew me. I don't even know this person. He dated her for a hot minute. She told him, come to my fire walk. It was my second fire walk. My ex-husband was at my fire. I invited him. My ex-husband was at my fire walk with his girlfriend. This man, he's sitting in the fourth row with his girlfriend. This man comes in and just sits in the second row, and he's exactly my type. On the outside, he looked like the part. I was like, okay. And then I was thinking, this might be a trap. I'm like aware by this point, like, my spirit, are you teasing me? Like I wasn't sure. But I was like, okay. But the whole way I decided to ignore him and just teach. And the whole way through, he kept saying things like, yes. I love this. I was like,
okay.
Get out, and then he's my partner. Like
that is so awesome.
He's everything I wanted.
Yeah. See, and that's it. When you're open and just allow, because that's the other piece of this process is, who do I need to be able to have that in my life? Because
he's my mirror.
Yeah.
I realized.
Nice mirror.
I know. I was like, he's an awesome mirror. And I was like, that's because, like I'm all those things. I had to realize at one point that if I wanted to attract that in a partner, the kind of man that would be like that, I had to be that myself. I had to be with high integrity. I had to be spiritual and be all those things I wanted myself.
Yeah.
And that's the personal work aspect. I think that a lot of people miss that part. Like they think, I just keep dreaming it and keep visioning it, and with happiness, it's going to happen. And it's like, not exactly.
Be a match to it.
I mean, it's kind of like, does your mom just let you go out when you're a kid and you're playing with your, your Legos and they're all over the floor and you're like, I really would go play outside. Your mom's like, okay, you can go play outside after you pick up your Legos. Like,
right.
That's the piece. You got to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me ask you a question around that though.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a sticky point, in my journey, in my mind. Because I know we're not supposed to focus on the problems, right? But there's also this piece of clean up your mess. Like, you've got to have somehow, the work I do with people is spending some of that time looking at where is the energy blocked within me from what I want to receive. So what is in my being? What is in my subconscious? What is in my soup of energy that could be blocking me from receiving what I want? What do I need to shift?
Right.
We do have to focus on that, some of this journey.
So here's the thing, and this is, I think, where people get a little confused too.
Yeah.
We have these things that happen in our life, the contrast, the resistance, the blocks, all of this stuff. So we can't just pretend it's not there, because this is what I see happens with people. They first learn law of attraction, and then they're like scared to death if they have a negative thought or something comes in, and then they pretend it's not there, or that they're not feeling that certain way. And of course, what happens is they repress it, and then it just like, it's going to explode at some point. Right?
Because it's like, hey, I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm the thing that's in the way. I'm showing you what I am.
Yes.
Hi.
So there's a difference in looking at it, knowing that you're clear. It's like, use the desire that comes from being in that place of where you aren't right now. That desire that is created because you're there. See, it actually has its purpose. And then, so you're not looking at it to wallow in it. You're looking at it to move through it. So you want to bring it up into the light, because if you pretend it's not there and you just want to shutting it down, you're not going to make shifts. You're going to continue to have crap going on in your life, and you're not going to understand why. Thinking, well, I'm not. That's when people say, well, law of attraction doesn't work for me. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you can't. First of all,
what kind of suitcase are you
can't pretend you're not where you are.
That's delusion. That's actually delusion.
So it's like, but the difference is, I am where I am. I understand, intellectually anyway. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not right. It's not wrong. It just is. Where do I prefer to be? I prefer to be out of this. I prefer to be over here. I prefer to be this easy place, or whatever it is. Great. Focus on that. Now, this is where you are. Now we have something we can work with, because if you pretend it's not there, there's nothing to work with.
This is honesty and truth.
Through it. Yeah. But you've got to bring it up. You've got to bring it, not to wallow in it, but bring it up so you can let it go. So don't kid yourself that. And I even say, look, even when you learn law of attraction and you can master law of attraction, if anyone says, once you learn this stuff, your life is just going to flow, you're going to be in ease and grace for the rest of your life, I'm going, run, Bambi, run. It is so not true.
It's not true. And I think it deceives people. I actually get really upset. I get upset, Eva, when coaches get out there and they start saying that to people, because I think it builds false hope.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give them the tools that they really need to get what they desire in their lives. And then that can just lead to a really depressed and unhappy space. And I feel like it's really irresponsible to tell people those lies.
Yeah. That's why you have to understand the contrast is serving. It's serving us. It has its place, and it does create us new desires for something different, which is then we can now move through that. But it's really important to understand that even now, once you understand this stuff, and you can work with someone like you to kind of get some of these blocks out, and now you have the tools of, hey, wait, before I go down that dark alley again, I'm realizing I'm a little irritated right now. So why don't I start to shift my energy here, rather than waiting until it becomes this really deep, dark hole that you have to work yourself out of? To me, it's like, there's a point where something's annoying. It's like shoe fly, but you don't do anything about it. And then of course you don't. Then the next thing you know, there's something bigger there. And then there's this big bad hairy monster that shows up, and you've got to really pay attention to it. So I'm a huge advocate of really paying attention, like being really sensitive to how you're feeling at any given point in time. And if it feels just slightly off, rather than just ignoring it, like, oh, well, I have an opportunity to shift this right now. Because if you don't, and then it continues to fester and rot and grow until now we've really got something we have to deal with, and it didn't need to be that way. So the thing is yes, life will still have stuff going on in it, but now we have tools and ways of shifting it. For me, one of the greatest things is that I can still get into funky places and not like it and have to do my processes to get out of it. But I'm not in a place of fear, like, oh my God, I'm going down and I'm going to be covered and buried forever, or any of that. I don't have that anymore. And just that is massive. I just being able to prove to yourself that you can shift how you may not be able to choose shift in your environment or the situation right away, but you can shift how you're feeling. And that is something that will change the quality of your life on a dime if you let it.
Totally. The shift from fear to curiosity was big for me. Curiosity, like a cat, like,
Yeah.
I've seen a cat playing with a toy, like a light on the wall or something. And it's just like,
what is it?
And so I kind of become that way, like, ooh, this is interesting. Like, what am I going to find now? Like, what's underneath? And now it's kind of even like with my life, it's like everything's going the way I like, right? I could just hang back and relax, but I want to keep growing. So I'm like, I reach my goals higher. Like I reach it higher. Like I might double my fees or something and then go, like, what? Like, and then it brings up all the shadow, like all the places where I'm not feeling worthy of it, or I'm feeling undeserving, or I'm feeling guilty because I'm charging too much money and I'm being greedy, and I'm like all this stuff, like the projections of thoughts. It's like a spiritual exercise. Like everything in life can be that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's a great picture.
Right? It's fun. I want people to really get that message. It's been fun for me. I'm getting that it's a fun process with you too.
Oh my gosh. That's one of the things, it's my bumper sticker. Fun is number one. Don't you ever forget.
Fun is number one.
Fun is number one on so many reasons and so many levels. That's why it's called the Feel Good Guide to Prosperity. I mean, feel good on a lot of different levels. That's important. And so, yes, if it ain't fun, we won't do it. Not for long anyway. So, yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that. I actually was inspired, Eva, I was also inspired to make it playful, right? To make it fun. So I'm going to be writing this book about the right brain superpowers, because I think they have been, squashed. Yeah. So, so it's going to be claim your right brain superpowers and learn to play.
Nice. I love it.
And of course, play is an acronym, but like it's about imagination. It's imagination. It's like opening, listening in a new way. Like I love the part you opened this broadcast about listening and awakening. That there's life beyond your physical body. There's guidance for you. You are never alone. You have all the support you need if you just listen and ask. You're going to receive it. That is the beautiful gift. And I love you share that right in the beginning of the program. That's so beautiful.
Love this stuff. Love this stuff.
I love it too. Okay, well, fellow friend in Law of Attraction, I knew we were going to have a great conversation. So I want to offer you an opportunity right now to share if you have any free gifts for the audience, or any programs coming up that you want to tell them about, or anything that you want to share about what you're doing in your world right now.
Yeah. Wow. I have so much going on, but I think what would be really great is if I could just offer a free gift. And it is my mindset mastery formula, which we didn't really talk about, but it all is based on law of attraction. And when you understand the whole mindset mastery formula, then you can start to see how to use law of attraction in shifting your mindset. And along with it is a process for when you go the wrong way. And like usually our thing is, well, what if I don't make enough money? Or what if I don't get the clients? Or,
the
what if down. And so then you shift that to what if up, and that will shift like in less than a minute. Sometimes it will completely shift your energy when you do that. So I've got the mindset mastery formula and the steps for doing that process that I'd love to gift everyone.
I love that. I want to share, can I share a little story?
Sure, of course.
So my sweetheart, his family, they were homeless 3 times when he was growing up.
Wow.
And as a result of that, his mom had to learn about the law of attraction as well. Think about it. 3 kids, 3 times.
Yeah.
And at one point she came up with this. And so all the kids in the family, my sweetheart and his siblings, they all say this: what more is possible?
Yes.
How can it get any better than this?
Right. Excellent.
And I think no matter where you are in your life, you can ask that question to the universe. How can it get any better than this?
Yes.
I'm looking for something better.
Always. Even when things are good.
Yeah, even when things are
it's good. That's the other thing. I tell people, don't wait till you already need to shift. Just like use this stuff. Ask those kinds of questions.
Proactive healing. It's like, preventative maintenance. It's like, why do you go for your regular checkups with the doctor? So you can stay healthy and you can have like improved fitness, right? Same thing. Well, I want to take your mental mastery
Mindset mastery formula. Yes, ma'am.
I want that.
Excellent.
Give it to me now. I want to say that Eva already gave me her 2 books to read, and I read the first book, and it was amazing. It was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's very clear, very easy to understand. I still have the life lessons, mastering the law of attraction on my, if you could look, if I turned the camera, but this is all set up. But if I could, you would be able to see that I have her book on my shelf right by my window, because I haven't read the second one yet. But really, really good stuff. Really easy to understand. This stuff can get so tricky, and Eva makes it easy to understand. So
thank you.
Check out her stuff. Any other last words or anything you want to offer?
Yeah, I just want to say that no matter where you are, no matter what circumstances you're in, that there's nowhere that you are that you can't shift and change it. And you just start by truly trying to feel what's a little bit better. And once you understand that you can move from wherever you are to just a little bit better, then that means you can do it again and again and again and again, so that you ultimately can shift. Never give up. That is the biggest thing I would say. Please never, ever, ever give up.
Yeah. Just sending so much love to everybody out there, no matter where you are. I mean, I want to say, like, you wouldn't have received those challenges if you weren't strong enough to overcome them.
Yes.
You are an amazing soul in a body. And all the life challenges you've been gifted, you are so powerful. You can get your way through it. I have total confidence in you.
Nice.
And you got good guides. So, wahoo.
Everyone, yes.
Yes. So thank you so much, Eva. I appreciate this call.
My pleasure.
And I always end by sending kisses to everybody. So I give them kisses.
Awesome.
Love you guys. Take care and see you next time.